But there's a bright red VDS driven by Ireland's Mike Roe sitting on the pole, and he's going to be very hard to beat. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Paulson, and today I'll be working with ESPN's racing expert, Mike Brockman.
We've got Mike Roe, the pole sitter, down here getting strapped into his car. Mike, give us a couple of words before the start of this race.
Well, it's very warm here at the moment, Mike. As I said to you earlier, I hope to just set a comfortable pace and try and stick to it. That's what I'm going to concentrate on, and keep it up for the whole distance.
Move out onto their pace lap, we'll get a chance to look at the racetrack. Now, this is corner one, a sweeping right-hander that is taken flat out in fourth gear. The Mosport circuit is 2.54 miles in length. It includes 10 turns and an elevation change of over 500 feet. It's the fastest circuit in the Can-Am series and probably the most physically punishing to cars and drivers. This is turn two. It's a downhill, off-camber left. Now, there are two apexes here. Sterling Moss has said that this is the single most difficult corner on any North American racetrack. Now, the driver's no sooner balanced his car before he's once again climbing uphill, braking hard, downshifting to third, and steering into turn three. Now, turn three is a relatively slow right-hander. From here, they head down to Moss Corner. You can hear the cheers go up. The fans see the field for the first time in this pace lap. At racing speeds, the drivers will be hard on the brakes and dropping all the way down through the gearbox to first. And they'll negotiate this 40-mile-an-hour band right here. As you can see, it's not really a hairpin, but really it's two sharp right-handers. Taking this second part correctly is really the main secret to a fast lap here at Mosport. Field now heading up toward turn 8 at the end of the straightaway. Let's have a look at our main contenders here. Starting in the pole, car number 2, driven by Irishman Michael Roe. Right alongside, there's veteran Can-Am competitor Horst Kroll from Toronto. He's run in every Can-Am race since 1977. He's driving number 37, the Chipwoods Charger. Now, third spot, another Canadian, Dr. Charles Monk of Sarnia. Beside him, winner of the last Can-Am held at Mosport, Jim Crawford from Scotland in the blue Wardair March wearing number 0. Okay, pace car's off. Order looks good. Starter looks him over. Green flag. The Budweiser Can-Am is underway. Mike Roe dashes down into corner one. He's won the dash there, followed by Kroll, Monk, Crawford, Bertel Roos of Sweden, and Texan Kim Campbell in there. Leaders over the hill into turn 2. Oh, look at this. Two cars have collided. That's between turns 1 and 2. Tremendous cloud of dust here. Now, that's not smoke, folks. It's just dust. But for the cars following, there is no visibility at all. Leaders are continuing, unaware of the accident behind them. There's Roe. He's stretching out a bit of a gap over Horst Kroll. Then it's Charlie Monk with Crawford, and Roos all over him, fighting for third. Listen. Beautiful sound. Cheering crowd. Sound of a big 5-liter Chevy downshifting from fourth to first as Mike Roe extends his lead on the first lap. Now they head into turn 8, and here we are. We can now measure the gap between the leaders. Roe, 3 seconds back. Here comes Horst Kroll. 2 more seconds, and it's Jim Crawford. Jim has moved past Charlie Monk on the back straight. Now he'll set his sights on Horst Kroll in second. Oh, there's another change. Now, Rupert Bragg-Smith of Toronto in car 63 has moved up ahead of Kim Campbell into 6th spot. Oh, the white flag. It means an emergency vehicle is on the track. Now, in this case, the tow trucks are clearing the wreckage from that first lap crash. The two cars that collided were driven by Ron Canizares, the New York restaurateur, and William Blackledge of the Bahamas. Neither driver hurt. Should take a few minutes to clear up that track, get those cars safely out of the way. Now, until the pace car comes out, racing does continue, and the best fight right now is that fight for second between Horst Kroll and Jim Crawford. At corner 8, Crawford has moved ahead. The Canadian is not giving up, though. Look at Horst Kroll. He's glued to Crawford's tail, just looking for that little chance to repass here. Meanwhile, back in corner 2, the cleanup operation continues. Yellow flags are out around the track. The pace car has returned. Passing is prohibited at this point. This is really a lucky break for Jim Crawford. It has allowed him to close right up on our race leader, Michael Roe. Of course, at this point, some of the other competitors will grab a pit stop opportunity to top up the fuel. There's a lot more action to come in the Budweiser Can-Am. We'll return for the restart. Start here in the Budweiser Can-Am at Mosport Park. Green flag is up. The track is clear, and the race is back on. The race leader in the VDS. Here's Michael Roe out of Ireland. Already diving down in corner 1, he begins to pull away from Jim Crawford. Now, keep in mind, Jim Crawford driving a brand new piece of equipment this race season. That's a March, and he just simply has not got that piece of equipment together yet. Horst Kroll, we have to be proud of the Canadians in this event. That explains why the fans here at Mosport Park are so excited this race weekend. Never have Canadians run so well in this event before. Oh, look at this. Car number 3 smoking very badly in corner 3. That's Bill Tempero. He runs out of Colorado. I tell you, at the rate Bill is burning oil, he may not last very long in this race today. The oil, that could be a problem for our front runners. Let's hope not as this race continues. Here's Michael Roe, the race leader. For about 4 seasons now, this piece of equipment has been running in the Can-Am Series. For some reason this year, Michael Roe has got it working perfectly. Continues to dominate. As each moment goes by, he pulls further and further away from the new March with Jim Crawford at the wheel. Canada's Horst Kroll continues to hold on to Crawford back in 3rd spot. Charlie Monk back in 4th. As we say, Canadians doing very well here today. A little further back in that field, we had Rupert Bragg-Smith well in view earlier. Jeremy Hill racing off behind him. Jim Cook out of Quebec. Even Sylvain Parigny putting in a nice run today. Quite a distance now between our race leader and the 2nd place man here, Jim Crawford. Even Jim getting a little further away from Canada's Horst Kroll. The spectators love that roar when they shift down coming through this slowest segment at Mosport Park, Moss's corner 5. Jim Crawford does appear to be a little swifter through this part of the track, obviously pulling away a little bit from Horst Kroll. Then Horst will catch up to him again on the Mario Andretti back straight. But the race leader, Michael Roe, continues to put more distance between he and Jim Crawford. Now, whether Crawford will eventually get this March working this season is the main question mark, I guess, for a man who certainly never had that view of Michael Roe in seasons past. Our race leaders back up on the front straight. They've completed 13 laps of this 60-lap race. Here's Horst Kroll by. Charlie Monk still strong in 4th. And already Charlie's crew getting ready for their first of 2 refueling stops. First into the pits is not Charlie Monk. It's Rupert Bragg-Smith, the Toronto driver who is running back in 7th spot. Well, this is obviously an unscheduled stop. They're not even putting fuel in the car. He can't seem to get it into gear. His mechanic says, get back out there. Rupert says no. Oh, it must be a shift linkage problem. Manually, they get it back into gear. Oh, mechanic nearly lost his arm there. Rupert's back in the race, though. Mind you, he's dropped all the way back to 12th, and he is out of contention. Uh-oh, now there's car number 3, Bill Tempero, coasting down off the track, heading down toward the catch fencing. That's the man we saw blowing blue smoke earlier. Now, that always means trouble. Looks like a blown engine. That's a very expensive trip to Canada for Bill Tempero. Yellow flags out around the track. We'll get ready for another lead change because Horst Kroll and Charlie Monk are both going to come in here. They do. They dive into pit row. Let's watch these pit stops now. Horst pulls in first. Charlie Monk's pit crew a little further down the line. Horst refueling process about finished. 13.8 seconds for Horst. Not bad. Oh, not as fast as Monk. Here's Charlie. He manages to leave pit lane first. Bertil Roos, the Swedish veteran, he's become the 4th driver to lead this race. He's got 2 Americans behind him in 2nd and 3rd. It'll be interesting to see if they can hold off the inevitable charge from the rear by Mike Roe when racing resumes here at the Budweiser Can-Am. return to racing conditions here at Mosport. The track is clear. Pace car coming off. We're ready for the restart. Our leader after 20 laps, number 69, Bertel Roos. And there's the green flag. We're back to race speeds. Now Bertel is leading a string of 5 under 2-liter cars out front. There goes Horst Kroll by. Definitely ready to get his 5-liter machine out in front of these 2-liters as quickly as he can. But Bertel does lead back down into corner 2. Now our front-running 5-liters, let's keep an eye on Charlie Monk and Horst Kroll because they'll be doing everything they can to get by these 2-liter machines. But can Horst get by Charlie Monk? That might be a question that'll develop very rapidly here. Alsop comes by safely. There's an Indy veteran driving very well here at Mosport today. Now we watch Charlie Monk and Horst Kroll. They've got their own little private fight happening on the track at this stage of the race. And diving down into corner 5, a new race leader. Here's young Kim Campbell out of Dallas, Texas, the Formula Ford star, now running in the Can-Am Series. Has never run in Mosport before. Bertel Roos certainly has many times in the past. And yet Kim, the rookie, blowing Bertel away and takes the race lead. Interesting to zoom in on the back straight here. Oh, look at Michael Roe move. He's singing by the 2-liter machinery there on that back straight. He'll be back in front before long. Indeed it is. Michael Roe, our new race leader. Still Bertel Roos holding on to him. Campbell back in 3rd spot. And Crawford now up into 4th. Look at this. Now that Michael Roe is by the field, no problem at all putting some distance between he and Bertel Roos. How long can Bertel hold in there? He's got Crawford coming up on his tail. That's our top Canadian going by, Jeremy Hill. In fact, the front Canadian in this race. Michael Roe one more time. Look at this. Crawford being held up by some of the back markers. Well, hardly. These front-running 2-liter cars, hardly fair to refer to them as back markers at this point. There's Michael Roe alone. Now that he's got that clear track in front of him, he is not wasting any time at all. Whereas Crawford is being held up a little bit here by Bertel Roos. He should be by before too long. Of course, Kim Campbell, Bill Alsop doing their best to hold on to Crawford. There's Roe diving down into corner 5. Slowest part of the course once more. Certainly doesn't look that way with Michael behind that wheel. Handles it beautifully. Heads back to that back straight where he'll gain even more time. The 5-liter VDS. Michael Roe up, it leads. Here's the brand new March. Jim Crawford driving, running a good, strong 2nd overall. Then 3 2-liter cars. Bertel Roos, Bill Alsop, and Kim Campbell. Now there's our leader. Once again, Michael Roe is up front. Opening a bit of a gap, in fact, at this stage of the race on this man, Jim Crawford. Oh, look out. Here's an accident. Turn 8. It's car number 7. That's the 2-liter Walt of Rodolfo Cusumano. Now, Rodolfo's lost a wheel on the left rear. He managed to skid the car to a halt here. That all happened at about 120 miles an hour. Rod's a lucky man. That wasn't a much more serious accident. The wheel has bounced clear of the track. Marshals helping Rod out of the car. Oh, look at this. Another one. It's the Italian Armando Trentini in his Ostella. 2 3-wheelers into the wall in the same lap. He hit the rail coming out of turn 10, ripped off the left front wheel, steers neatly across the track into the pits. He'll be relaxing in the beer tent, I think, before Rod Cusumano finishes that long, hot walk home. Well, the leader's final pit stops are coming up when we return for the conclusion of the Budweiser Can-Am. And yellow flags are being waved at Mosport. That means an emergency vehicle on the course. Yellow, of course, passing is forbidden. Ireland's Michael Roe with a commanding lead over Jim Crawford of Scotland. Charlie Monk back in 3rd, just ahead of fellow Canadian Horst Kroll. Now, here's the reason for the caution flags. Rodolfo Cusumano's Rolt lost a wheel. Car skidded to a halt at the entrance to corner 9. Now, watch closely. Under the yellow flag, with no passing allowed, we see Horst Kroll pass Charlie Monk in a slower 2-liter car. He's accelerating up the back straight. Monk obediently stayed behind the 2-liter car. He watches as Horst speeds into the distance. Now they round corner 10. You can see Horst Kroll has clearly taken over 3rd place and is drawing away from Monk in 4th. Under the yellow flag, that's a no-no. The pace car finally gets into position in front of Michael Roe. Field bunching up again. Now those cars that you'll see here between Roe and Crawford, they're all at least a lap down on the leaders. Only Monk and Kroll remaining on the same lap as the 2 leaders. Pace car comes through, leading the entire field. Oh, look at this. Mike Rowe's heading for the pits. This will be his final mandatory pit stop for fuel. pulls in quickly. They check his rear tires. No. Tires will not be changed here. Look at this. Crawford's in right behind the team from Texas. They do elect to take on fuel. Now, both cars were off. I think Bob Fernley and his team helped move Jim Crawford up a few seconds there. Charlie Monk is next. Signboards are out. There's the pit crew. They're ready. Crucial stop at this stage in the race. Let's get a watch on him again. He's away. Look at that stop for only 6.92 seconds. Another very quick stop for Charlie Monk. And once again, his pit crew have moved their driver ahead of Horst Kroll. Oh, look, as if Kroll hasn't lost enough ground in the pit stop. He's now being held up by the chief marshal. He's being given a 30-second penalty for that yellow flag passing incident that we witnessed earlier. Now, the pace car is still on the track for one more lap, so, well, if Horst is lucky, he'll be able to regain most of that 30-second deficit on Charlie Monk before the green flag comes out and racing resumes. Okay, they wave him out of pit row now. He's back into the race. All right, here we go again. The green flag is out. The pack dives down towards corner one. The first two cars here, they're a lap back. The leader is number 2, Roe, half a second back Crawford. Then Monk, there's Horst Kroll. Watch it, Roe, Crawford. They'll cut their way through slower traffic here at corner 3. Oh, they're moving. Roe, like the wind, and Crawford. Horst Kroll is really charging. He's trying to catch Charlie Monk. Oh, look at this. Monk is off at Moss Corner. Oh, look. He's back in the race, though. No damage done. Didn't even lose a position. And Charlie Monk is off one more time. In fact, the race now settling down at this point. Michael Roe has managed to pass Horst Kroll with just 2 laps to go in the race. And he is threatening to do the same to Charlie Monk. Roe has nearly lapped the entire field. It has been a faultless performance. Car has not missed a beat. The driver hasn't put a wheel wrong, and the pit work has been perfect. There's none of hundreds of mishaps that Jim Crawford was counting on to slow Michael Roe materialized. Jim must be content to circulate alone in second place. Jim is running about 33 seconds in arrears. Well, on this day at Mosport, Michael Roe was not to be beaten. Another good performance turned in by Jeremy Hill of Toronto in car 00. With the retirement of Bill Alsop and mechanical problems for Bertil Roos, Jeremy Hill is going to win the 2-liter class. As Michael Roe carefully unwinds his last lap, he must be hearing every little sound coming out of that engine, imagining disaster of all sorts. For him, the suspense has to be painful. He's always been fast. He's led lots of Can-Ams before, but every time, something has gone wrong. Could this be the day his luck is going to change? Is he finally going to win after waiting so long? Well, after 60 hot and bumpy laps, Michael Roe takes the checkered flag for the first ever Can-Am victory for him and the Texas Motorsport Racing team. 40 seconds back, Jim Crawford finishes second in what must have been a very frustrating race for him. His new car wasn't competitive in this first race of the season. Well, as the Can-Am season continues, the new March will surely show its full potential. Canadian drivers filled the next 4 places. Charlie Monk in 3rd, Horst Kroll in 4th, Jim Cook of Chatham came 5th, and Jeremy Hill, the 2-liter winner, placing 6th overall. Well, the partying continues in Winner's Circle, and Michael Roe wins the Budweiser Can-Am and a check from Labatt's for $20,000 US. I'm Jim Paulson. For Michael Brockman, good afternoon from Mosport Park, Ontario.